Your success will never rise above the person you become. The biggest changes in life begin with a simple realization. The future you want depends on the choices you make today. Success is not created only by opportunities, talent, or luck. It is created by improving yourself every day, building better habits, and becoming someone who can handle greater responsibilities. Many people spend years searching for the secret to success, but they ignore the most important place to start: themselves. The way you think, the actions you repeat, and the standards you set quietly decide the direction of your life. In this audiobook, Success Starts With You: How to Become Your Best Self, you will discover practical lessons to improve your mindset, strengthen your discipline, overcome personal limitations, and develop the habits that create real growth. You will learn how to take control of your decisions, build confidence through action, and become a stronger version of yourself. Stay with this audiobook until the end, because the ideas you are about to learn can change the way you see yourself and the way you approach your daily life. Chapter 1. Believe you can change, starting today. Success always begins inside one person before anyone else can see it. Real personal growth starts the moment you decide that your current habits do not have to control your future. Becoming your best self is not a lucky event. It is a skill that grows through daily choices. Every lasting improvement begins with one honest decision. That decision is to believe that change is possible today. Many people wait for a better season or a better opportunity. They believe they need more confidence before taking action. Real life proves the opposite. Confidence grows after action. It does not appear before action. Small actions repeated every day slowly change the way you see yourself. That is where every meaningful success story begins. Most people believe change is difficult because they focus on the size of the goal instead of the size of today's action. This simple mistake keeps many people stuck for years. A person who wants better health often spends weeks searching for the perfect plan, but never takes a daily walk. Someone who wants financial stability reads many books, but never creates a spending habit. Another person dreams about becoming confident, but never starts conversations with new people. The problem is rarely a lack of information. The problem is waiting until everything feels perfect. Progress belongs to people who begin before they feel completely ready. Your brain quietly creates evidence about who you are every single day. This happens without most people noticing it. Every action becomes a small message that says something about your identity. Cleaning your room tells your mind that you finish what you start. Waking up on time tells your mind that your promises matter. Reading 10 pages teaches your brain that learning is part of your daily life. These actions may look small from the outside. Inside your mind, they slowly build a new picture of who you believe yourself to be. This hidden process explains why small habits often create big personal changes over time. Many people spend too much energy trying to feel different before acting different. They wait for excitement to arrive. They wait for fear to disappear. They wait until they feel motivated every morning. Real growth does not follow those feelings. Feelings change many times during one day. Habits stay much longer. A person who depends on feelings becomes inconsistent. A person who depends on daily habits keeps moving even during difficult weeks. This difference separates temporary improvement from lasting personal growth. One practical lesson can change the way you approach every goal. Stop measuring success only by results. Start measuring success by completed actions. You may not lose weight in 1 week. You may not become wealthy in 1 month. You may not master a new skill immediately. Those results need time. Daily actions happen today. Every completed action is proof that you are becoming more reliable. Reliable people create successful lives because they continue working after excitement disappears. Your environment quietly shapes many of your decisions. Most people underestimate this truth. They believe success depends only on willpower. Willpower becomes weak after making many decisions throughout the day. Your surroundings can either reduce that pressure or increase it. A healthy meal becomes easier when healthy food is already available. Reading becomes easier when a book stays on your desk instead of inside a drawer. Exercise becomes easier when your shoes are waiting near the door. Small changes around you remove unnecessary resistance. Successful people often design their environment before they depend on motivation. Pay close attention to the words you repeat about yourself. Many people speak against their own future without realizing it. They say they are always lazy. They say they never finish anything. They say change is impossible for them. The brain listens carefully to repeated language. These words slowly influence future actions. Replace those statements with honest and useful ones. Tell yourself that you are learning consistency. Tell yourself that you are becoming more responsible every day. These are not empty positive statements. They become true through repeated actions that support them. Another lesson many people never hear is that your energy often follows movement instead of creating movement. Sitting still while waiting to feel energetic usually creates even less energy. Standing up and beginning one small task often increases focus within minutes. Cleaning one shelf can create enough momentum to clean one room. Writing one sentence often becomes one page. Reading one paragraph often becomes one chapter. Action creates mental movement that waiting never produces. This simple principle explains why starting is usually the hardest part of any meaningful work. Many people secretly compare their beginning with someone else's middle. This comparison creates unnecessary disappointment. Every experienced person once struggled with simple tasks. Every skilled speaker once felt nervous. Every successful business owner once made mistakes. Every disciplined person once missed important habits. Growth always has an early stage that nobody celebrates. Accepting this truth removes unnecessary pressure. Your responsibility is not to perform perfectly. Your responsibility is to continue improving from your current level. Personal change also requires honesty. Honest people improve faster because they stop protecting their excuses. They notice where they waste time. They admit where fear controls decisions. They recognize habits that slowly damage their future. This honesty may feel uncomfortable for a short time. It creates freedom over the long term. You cannot improve something you refuse to recognize. Honest observation becomes the starting point for every lasting improvement. One useful daily exercise takes less than 5 minutes. At the end of each day, write down one action that moved your life forward. It can be drinking more water. It can be finishing an important phone call. It can be reading a few pages or saving a small amount of money. Then write one action that slowed your progress. Do not judge yourself. Simply notice the pattern. After several weeks, you will discover behaviors that help you succeed and behaviors that quietly hold you back. This awareness makes better decisions much easier. Another important truth is that discipline becomes easier after reducing unnecessary choices. Many people fill their days with endless decisions. They wonder what time to wake up. They decide whether to exercise. They debate whether to read today or tomorrow. Every repeated decision uses mental energy. Create fixed routines instead. Wake up at the same time. Read at the same hour. Exercise on scheduled days. Simple routines protect your focus because fewer decisions compete for your attention. Your future is shaped more by ordinary days than by extraordinary moments. People often remember major achievements but forget the hundreds of quiet actions that made those achievements possible. Success grows inside normal mornings. It grows during ordinary evenings. It grows while nobody is watching. Every time you choose responsibility instead of delay, you strengthen your future. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you increase self-respect. Self-respect becomes the foundation of lasting confidence because it is earned instead of imagined. Believing you can change does not require ignoring your past. It requires refusing to let your past control today's decisions. Yesterday may explain your current situation, but it does not have permission to decide your next action. Every morning gives you another opportunity to practice a better habit. Every conversation gives you another opportunity to respond with patience. Every challenge gives you another opportunity to become stronger. Growth does not erase mistakes. Growth teaches you how to stop repeating them. The most valuable investment you will ever make is improving the person you become each day. Skills can create opportunities. Knowledge can open doors. Money can provide comfort. Your character determines how well you use every opportunity you receive. Strong character grows through repeated choices that nobody else may notice. Keeping your word, showing up on time, finishing important work, staying calm during pressure, listening carefully before speaking. These simple actions slowly build a life that reflects your highest potential. Today is not important because it feels special. Today matters because every meaningful future begins with one ordinary day that someone decided to use wisely. Your next action is more powerful than your last excuse. Your next habit is more important than your last mistake. Your next decision begins shaping the person you will become. Success starts with you, because lasting change always starts with one person choosing to become better before the world notices the difference. Chapter 2. Stop making excuses and take charge. Every meaningful improvement begins the moment you stop handing control of your life to outside circumstances. Personal responsibility is not a heavy burden. It is a source of freedom. The day you accept that your choices matter more than your excuses is the day your direction begins to change. Many people spend years waiting for better conditions, while others quietly improve with the conditions they already have. The difference is not talent. The difference is ownership. People who take ownership stop asking who is responsible for their future because they already know the answer. Excuses often sound reasonable because they are built around real problems. A person may not have enough money. Another may not have support from family. Someone else may have failed many times before. These situations are real, but they are not final decisions. The mistake happens when a problem becomes an identity. Saying life is difficult describes a situation. Saying you cannot grow because life is difficult creates a limit that did not exist before. Learn to separate facts from conclusions. Facts help you understand reality. Wrong conclusions keep you trapped inside it. One useful habit is learning to notice the first sentence that appears in your mind whenever something becomes difficult. Many people immediately say they do not have enough time. Others tell themselves they are not ready. Some quietly believe they are too old or too young. Those automatic thoughts deserve careful attention because they often decide your actions before you even begin. Replace that first reaction with a better one. Instead of saying, "There is no time," ask where your time went today. Instead of saying you cannot do it, ask what one small step is possible before the day ends. Better questions create better decisions. There is a hidden cost to making excuses that most people never notice. Every excuse slowly weakens your trust in yourself. Each time you promise to start tomorrow and do nothing today, your mind remembers. After enough broken promises, you begin expecting yourself to quit. This is why many people lose confidence without understanding why. Confidence is not damaged only by failure. It is also damaged by repeatedly avoiding action. The good news is that trust can be rebuilt. Every kept promise, no matter how small, begins repairing the relationship you have with yourself. Many people believe successful individuals have fewer problems. Real life shows something different. Successful people usually become skilled at solving problems instead of studying them for too long. They spend less time complaining and more time looking for the next useful action. This habit can be practiced every day. Whenever something goes wrong, write 2 lists. The first list contains everything outside your control. The second contains everything you can influence. Then stop reading the first list. Put all your attention on the second one. This simple exercise protects your energy from being wasted on things you cannot change. Blame feels comfortable because it removes responsibility for a short time. It allows people to believe someone else controls their progress. The comfort never lasts because blame also removes personal power. The moment another person controls your future, you have already given away your ability to improve it. Taking charge brings that power back. It may feel uncomfortable at first because responsibility asks more from you. It also gives you something valuable in return. It gives you the ability to change your direction one decision at a time. Your daily routine quietly reveals what you truly value. Many people describe their goals with great excitement, yet their schedule tells a different story. They say health is important but sleep very little. They say learning matters but spend hours scrolling through unnecessary information. They say family comes first but rarely give full attention during conversations. This is not about guilt, it is about awareness. Your calendar often speaks more honestly than your intentions. Looking at how you actually spend your day gives you a clear starting point for meaningful change. There is another habit that quietly creates excuses. It is the habit of waiting for perfect conditions. Waiting feels productive because it looks like preparation. Sometimes preparation is necessary. Many times it becomes another form of delay. You do not need the perfect notebook before writing your ideas. You do not need perfect weather before taking a walk. You do not need perfect confidence before applying for an opportunity. Improvement usually begins with ordinary tools used consistently. People who keep waiting often discover that months disappear while nothing changes. Learn to become a person who finishes small tasks. This may sound simple, but it has a powerful effect on your mind. Completing simple responsibilities teaches your brain that action is normal. Wash the dishes after eating. Reply to an important message instead of postponing it. Put things back where they belong. Finish reading the pages you planned for the day. These ordinary actions create a mindset of completion. Over time, this same habit carries into larger goals because your identity begins to shift towards someone who follows through. Many people spend too much energy defending their past decisions. They explain why they stopped exercising. They explain why they never learned a new skill. They explain why they stayed in unhealthy habits for years. Every explanation keeps attention focused on yesterday. Growth happens by directing attention toward today. You do not need to defend your past. You need to improve your present. Every minute spent protecting old mistakes is a minute not invested in building a better future. Pay attention to the company you keep. Human behavior is strongly influenced by normal conversations. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain, and complaining begins to feel normal. Spend time with people who solve problems calmly, and practical thinking becomes more familiar. This does not mean avoiding people during difficult seasons. It means becoming aware of the influence repeated conversations have on your mindset. Choose relationships that encourage responsibility, honesty, and progress. Those qualities become easier to practice when you see them regularly. Another practical lesson is learning to prepare before motivation disappears. Most people make decisions only while they feel excited. That excitement naturally becomes weaker after a few days. Instead of depending on emotion, prepare your environment in advance. Lay out your exercise clothes before sleeping. Prepare healthy meals before you become hungry. Keep your study materials ready before free time arrives. Preparation removes many opportunities for excuses because the next step is already waiting for you. Taking charge also means accepting that some days will feel slow. Progress does not always arrive with excitement or visible results. Some days are simply about keeping your standards. Reading a few pages may not seem impressive. Saving a small amount of money may not feel important. Practicing a skill for 30 minutes may look insignificant. These actions matter because they strengthen consistency. A strong life is built through repeated ordinary decisions, not occasional extraordinary effort. Another overlooked habit is learning to speak with precision. Avoid saying you forgot, when the truth is that you did not make it a priority. Avoid saying you had no choice when several choices were available. Honest language improves honest thinking. Honest thinking leads to better actions. The words you choose shape the way you understand your own behavior. Accurate language makes personal growth much easier because it removes confusion. You also need clear personal standards. Standards are different from goals. A goal is something you hope to reach. A standard is something you refuse to fall below. You may have a goal to read many books this year. Your standard might be reading at least 10 pages every day. You may have a goal to improve your health. Your standard might be walking every evening, no matter how busy the day becomes. Standards create stability because they guide your actions, even when life becomes demanding. There will always be unexpected problems. Plans will sometimes fail. People may disappoint you. Opportunities may arrive later than expected. None of these events have the authority to decide who you become. Your response always remains your responsibility. Calm decisions made during difficult moments often shape your future more than easy days ever could. People who continue moving through setbacks develop quiet strength that cannot be borrowed from anyone else. Every evening gives you an opportunity to measure your day honestly. Instead of asking whether the day was easy or difficult, ask whether you acted according to your values. Did you complete the important task you planned? Did you keep your word? Did you use your time with intention? Did you improve one area of your life? These questions help you evaluate progress based on actions instead of emotions. This creates a stronger foundation for lasting self-improvement. The greatest change often begins with one sentence that becomes part of your daily thinking. That sentence is simple: I am responsible for my next decision. Those words remove distraction. They remove unnecessary blame. They remove the habit of waiting for someone else to create your future. They remind you that every new choice is another chance to build a stronger character. Taking charge does not require a perfect past or perfect conditions. It requires the courage to act with purpose today and the discipline to repeat that choice again tomorrow. Chapter 3. Create daily habits that build confidence. Confidence is built through repeated action instead of repeated praise. It grows because of what you do consistently, not because of what other people say about you. Many people spend years trying to feel more confident before they begin improving their lives. The stronger path is the opposite. Start building habits that prove to yourself you can be trusted. Every habit you keep becomes another piece of evidence that you are growing into a dependable person. This quiet evidence stays with you much longer than temporary encouragement from other people. Many people misunderstand confidence because they connect it with personality. They believe confident people are naturally outgoing, fearless, or comfortable in every situation. Real life tells a different story. Confidence is often very quiet. It appears in the person who finishes important work without seeking attention. It appears in someone who keeps learning after making mistakes. It appears in the individual who remains calm while handling everyday responsibilities. True confidence is not about appearing impressive. It is about becoming reliable in your own eyes. One practical habit that changes the way you see yourself is beginning every morning with one completed task. The task does not need to be difficult. Make your bed carefully. Organize your workspace. Prepare healthy food for the day. Water your plants. Write your daily plan. These simple actions teach your mind an important lesson before the day becomes busy. They create early success instead of early delay. Starting the day with completion often increases your willingness to complete the next responsibility. Another habit that quietly strengthens confidence is finishing tasks before starting new ones. Many people collect unfinished work. They begin reading several books without completing one. They start learning different skills but leave each one halfway. They create long lists but rarely cross anything off. This pattern trains the brain to expect unfinished work. Begin changing that pattern. Complete one project before chasing another. Finishing something gives your mind a feeling of progress that unfinished effort cannot provide. It also teaches patience, which is one of the strongest qualities behind lasting confidence. Your physical posture influences more than your appearance. It also affects your attention and your breathing. People often notice that they feel mentally stronger when they stand upright, breathe deeply, and move with purpose. This does not happen because posture creates magic. It happens because your body and mind constantly communicate with each other. Walking with steady movement helps reduce unnecessary tension. Looking forward instead of constantly looking down encourages greater awareness of your surroundings. These small adjustments become useful daily habits that support a stronger state of mind. A powerful but often ignored habit is arriving a few minutes early wherever you need to be. This simple decision changes more than your schedule. It removes unnecessary stress before meetings, appointments, or important conversations. It gives you time to settle your thoughts instead of rushing. People who regularly arrive early usually make calmer decisions because they begin situations with greater control. Over time, this habit builds quiet confidence because you know you are prepared instead of hurried. Many people damage their confidence by making too many promises they cannot keep. They promise to wake up early every day without changing their bedtime. They promise to exercise every morning after years of inactivity. They promise dramatic changes that disappear within 1 week. Confidence grows faster through realistic commitments than impossible ones. Promise yourself something you can complete today. Then complete it. Tomorrow, repeat the process. Small victories collected over many weeks become stronger than 1 week of unrealistic effort. Writing by hand is another useful habit that many people have stopped practicing. Keeping a simple notebook helps organize your thinking. Each morning, write the 3 most important tasks for the day. Each evening, write 1 lesson you learned. This practice improves focus because your thoughts become visible instead of remaining scattered. It also gives you proof of your progress. Looking back after several months allows you to see how much your thinking has matured. This visible record often strengthens confidence because improvement becomes easier to recognize. Another daily practice is protecting the first hour after waking up. Many people begin their mornings by immediately checking messages, news, or endless updates. Before they have directed their own attention, someone else has already taken it. A better habit is to spend that first hour building yourself instead of reacting to the world. Read something valuable, stretch your body, review your priorities, drink water, spend a few quiet minutes planning the day. This creates a sense of direction that stays with you long after the morning has ended. Confidence also grows through skill development. Many people want greater self-belief without improving their abilities. The strongest confidence comes from knowing you have prepared well. Choose 1 useful skill connected to your goals. Practice it every day, even for a short period. Improve your writing. Strengthen your communication. Learn to manage your finances. Develop better listening skills. Study a language. Every hour spent improving a useful ability creates confidence because your competence increases alongside your experience. One lesser-known truth is that your memory pays close attention to unfinished responsibilities. Psychologists often observe that incomplete tasks continue occupying mental space. This can quietly increase stress throughout the day. Create the habit of closing small tasks as quickly as possible. File important papers after using them. Wash dishes after eating. Answer necessary emails during planned times instead of allowing them to accumulate. Clearing these small responsibilities frees mental energy for more meaningful work. Your surroundings influence your daily discipline more than many people realize. A cluttered room often creates unnecessary distraction because your attention is repeatedly pulled toward unfinished organization. You do not need a perfect home. You need an orderly environment that supports your daily habits. Spend 10 minutes each evening returning things to their proper place. This small routine creates a feeling of control before the next day begins. A calm environment supports a calm mind. Another habit that strengthens confidence is learning to speak clearly and slowly. Many people rush their words because they fear silence. Slowing your speech gives your mind time to organize ideas. It also helps other people understand you more easily. Practice explaining everyday topics in simple language. Notice when you use unnecessary words. Speak with purpose instead of speed. Clear communication often creates confidence because you become comfortable expressing your thoughts without pressure. One valuable exercise is intentionally doing one small difficult thing every day. Choose something safe but slightly uncomfortable. Introduce yourself to someone new. Ask a thoughtful question during a meeting. Read aloud for 10 minutes. Practice a presentation in front of a mirror. Take a longer walk than usual. These actions gently expand your comfort zone. Over time, your definition of what feels difficult begins to change. Tasks that once created anxiety slowly become part of your normal routine. Many people only notice what they have not accomplished. They rarely recognize the habits they have already built. This creates unnecessary discouragement. Spend a few moments every week reviewing your progress honestly. Notice how many mornings you followed your routine. Notice how many books you have completed. Notice how much stronger your concentration has become. Recognizing progress is not pride. It is accurate observation. Accurate observation helps you continue instead of quitting because you can clearly see that your effort is producing results. Protecting your attention is another habit that deserves serious consideration. Constant interruptions weaken your ability to focus deeply. Set aside specific times for checking messages instead of reacting every few minutes. Turn off unnecessary notifications while working. Keep your phone away during important conversations. Attention is one of your greatest resources. Every time you protect it, you improve the quality of your work and strengthen your ability to stay present. There is also great value in ending each day with preparation instead of exhaustion. Before going to sleep, take a few minutes to arrange tomorrow. Choose your clothes, prepare important documents, write tomorrow's priorities, clean your workspace, fill your water bottle. These actions reduce decision-making the following morning. They also create a feeling of readiness that makes it easier to begin the day with purpose. Evening preparation is often the hidden reason why productive people appear so organized. Your confidence also depends on how you respond after making mistakes. Many people allow one poor decision to ruin an entire day. They miss one workout and stop exercising for a week. They overspend once and abandon their financial plan. They miss one reading session and stop learning altogether. Strong habits are not destroyed by one mistake. They are damaged by giving up after that mistake. Learn to recover quickly. Return to your routine at the next opportunity without wasting energy on self-criticism. Another practical habit is becoming more careful with your personal standards, even when nobody is watching. Return borrowed items in good condition. Keep your workspace clean, even if visitors never see it. Complete work honestly, without looking for shortcuts. Speak respectfully about people who are not present. These actions quietly shape your character. Character creates self-respect, and self-respect becomes one of the deepest sources of lasting confidence. As the days pass, these habits begin connecting together. One completed task encourages another. Better organization improves your focus. Better focus improves your learning. Greater learning increases your ability. Greater ability strengthens your confidence. This process does not happen overnight, but it happens steadily. Every ordinary day becomes another opportunity to strengthen the person you are becoming. Confidence is no longer something you hope to find. It becomes something you build through daily habits that quietly transform your life, one choice at a time. Chapter 4. Face every challenge with quiet courage. Every difficult season carries a lesson that comfortable days rarely teach. Real strength is revealed through steady behavior during pressure, not through easy victories. A person becomes stronger by facing challenges with patience instead of panic. Courage is not loud. It does not demand attention. It quietly chooses the next right action while uncertainty still exists. The people who grow the most are often the ones who continue moving forward without making a performance out of their struggles. Many people believe courage means living without fear. Daily life shows something much more practical. Fear is a natural response to situations that matter. Starting a new career, speaking in front of others, asking for forgiveness, learning a difficult skill, or making a major decision can all create fear. Courage begins when you stop treating fear as a stop sign. It becomes a signal that you are entering a place where growth is possible. Learning to recognize this difference changes the way you approach challenges for the rest of your life. One of the most useful habits during difficult moments is slowing down your response instead of speeding it up. Problems often create an urge to react immediately. People send emotional messages they later regret. They make rushed decisions because they want quick relief. They speak without fully understanding the situation. Calm people usually do something different. They pause long enough to gather facts. They separate emotion from action. This short pause often prevents mistakes that could create even greater problems. There is an important truth that many people overlook. Pressure does not always create new behavior. Very often, it reveals habits that already exist. A person who practices patience during ordinary days is more likely to remain patient during stressful situations. Someone who regularly solves small problems calmly often handles larger problems with the same approach. This is why everyday habits matter so much. They prepare you for moments that cannot be predicted. Quiet discipline practiced today becomes dependable courage tomorrow. Many people waste valuable energy asking why difficult things happen to them. This question usually produces frustration instead of progress. A more useful question is asking what this situation is teaching you. Every challenge contains information. It may reveal a skill you need to improve. It may expose a weakness in your planning. It may show you where your communication needs work. It may remind you to become more patient. Looking for lessons transforms difficult experiences into valuable education instead of meaningless suffering. Another practical skill is learning to break large problems into smaller parts. Big challenges often appear impossible because the mind tries to solve everything at once. A person dealing with debt may feel overwhelmed by the total amount. Begin by creating a simple spending record. A person struggling with health may feel discouraged by years of unhealthy habits. Begin with one nutritious meal each day. Someone preparing for an important exam may fear the amount of material to study. Begin with one chapter. Small progress reduces mental pressure because the next step becomes clear. Many people believe strong individuals never become discouraged. Real life tells another story. Even disciplined people experience disappointment. They feel tired. They sometimes question their progress. The important difference is how they respond. They do not allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. They continue following their values even while their feelings change. This steady approach builds resilience because actions remain consistent despite emotional ups and downs. Another overlooked lesson is that courage often grows through preparation rather than personality. A firefighter trains before facing danger. A musician practices before performing. A teacher studies before entering the classroom. Preparation reduces unnecessary fear because it replaces uncertainty with familiarity. You can apply the same principle to everyday life. Prepare before important conversations. Practice presentations aloud. Review financial plans before making decisions. Preparation does not remove every challenge, but it increases your ability to handle them wisely. Your daily conversations with yourself become especially important during difficult seasons. Many people quietly repeat harmful statements without noticing their effect. They tell themselves they always fail. They believe one mistake defines their ability. These repeated thoughts influence future behavior. Replace dramatic conclusions with accurate observations. Instead of saying everything is going wrong, identify the specific problem. Instead of believing you cannot recover, remind yourself that setbacks are temporary situations, not permanent identities. Clear thinking supports stronger action. One valuable exercise during stressful times is writing down everything you know instead of everything you fear. Fear often fills the mind with assumptions. Facts bring clarity. Write what has actually happened. Write what remains uncertain. Write what actions are available today. This process separates reality from imagination. Many people discover that the situation is difficult, but far more manageable than their thoughts originally suggested. Clear thinking creates room for practical solutions. Another important habit is protecting your physical health while solving emotional problems. Many people stop sleeping well, eating properly, or moving their bodies during stressful periods. This usually makes the challenge harder instead of easier. Your brain works better when your body is cared for. A short walk can improve concentration. Drinking enough water supports mental focus. Regular sleep helps emotional stability. These habits may seem unrelated to courage, yet they provide the strength needed to face demanding situations with greater patience. Some of the strongest people rarely speak about being strong. They simply continue doing what needs to be done. They fulfill responsibilities even during difficult weeks. They remain respectful while facing disappointment. They continue learning after failure. Quiet courage often looks ordinary from the outside because it appears in simple daily behavior. It is found in the parent who keeps supporting a family through financial hardship. It is found in the student who studies after receiving poor grades. It is found in the worker who continues improving despite repeated rejection. These people may never receive public recognition, but they develop character that lasts for life. There is also value in accepting that not every problem can be solved immediately. Some situations require patience as much as action. Healing damaged relationships takes time. Building financial stability requires consistent effort over many months or years. Learning complex skills demands repeated practice. People who expect instant results often become discouraged too quickly. Those who respect the natural pace of improvement remain committed long enough to experience real progress. Many challenges become easier when you stop carrying them alone. This does not mean asking others to solve your problems. It means learning from people with experience. A mentor can provide perspective you may not see. A trusted friend can help you examine a difficult decision calmly. A skilled teacher can shorten your learning process. Strong people are not afraid to seek guidance because they understand that wisdom grows faster through shared knowledge. Another practical habit is keeping promises during difficult periods. It is easy to become dependable when life feels comfortable. Character becomes visible when circumstances become demanding. Continue arriving on time. Continue speaking honestly. Continue completing responsibilities. Continue treating others with respect. These actions strengthen your identity because they prove your values are not controlled by temporary pressure. One lesson many people discover too late is that avoiding small difficulties often creates larger ones. Ignoring health problems can lead to serious illness. Delaying honest conversations can damage important relationships. Postponing financial responsibility can increase debt. Facing small challenges early usually saves time, energy, and emotional pain. Quiet courage often begins with addressing simple issues before they become major obstacles. There will also be moments when the best decision is accepting what cannot be changed. Acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance allows you to stop wasting energy fighting reality. Once you accept the facts of a situation, your attention becomes available for useful action. You stop asking why the problem exists and begin asking how to move forward. This shift creates emotional stability because your focus returns to what is still possible. A valuable practice is reviewing your past challenges from time to time. Think about situations that once seemed impossible but are now behind you. Notice the abilities you gained because of those experiences. Perhaps you became more patient. Perhaps you learned better planning. Perhaps you discovered inner strength you never realized you possessed. Looking back reminds you that previous difficulties prepared you for present responsibilities. Your history becomes evidence that you can continue growing. Another powerful habit is refusing to let one difficult moment define an entire day. A disappointing meeting does not mean the day is ruined. One mistake does not erase many good decisions. One criticism does not remove your value. Learn to reset your attention instead of carrying frustration into every remaining hour. This ability protects your peace of mind and keeps temporary setbacks from becoming lasting discouragement. As your life moves forward, challenges will continue appearing in different forms. Some will test your patience, others will test your discipline, your honesty, or your persistence. You cannot control every event that enters your life, but you can continue strengthening the person who responds to those events. Quiet courage grows each time you remain steady instead of reacting without thought. It grows when you choose responsibility over avoidance. It grows when you stay committed to your values during uncertain moments. Over the years, These choices create a person who does not fear every challenge, because experience has already taught that growth often begins where comfort ends, and that calm determination can carry you through situations that once seemed far beyond your ability. Chapter 5. Learn from every mistake without giving up. Every person who achieves lasting success develops one important ability that often goes unnoticed. They know how to continue after making mistakes. Progress does not belong to people who never fail. It belongs to people who refuse to let failure become their teacher's last lesson. Every mistake carries useful information for those who are willing to study it honestly. The purpose of a mistake is not to convince you that you are incapable. Its purpose is to reveal what needs to improve before the next attempt. Many people make one mistake and immediately begin judging themselves instead of studying the situation. They stop asking what happened and start deciding who they are. This creates unnecessary suffering because they confuse one action with their identity. Missing an opportunity does not make you unsuccessful. Making a poor decision does not make you incapable of making better ones. One disappointing result cannot define the rest of your life unless you allow it to become your final conclusion. Separate the event from the person. You can correct an action much more easily than you can escape a false identity. One of the most valuable habits after making a mistake is waiting until your emotions become calmer before evaluating what happened. Strong emotions often create inaccurate thinking. Frustration encourages blame. Embarrassment encourages self-criticism. Anger encourages rushed decisions. Give yourself enough time to see the situation clearly. Then ask simple and honest questions. What worked well? What did not work? What can be done differently next time? This method turns disappointment into practical education instead of emotional confusion. There is a difference between regret and reflection. Regret keeps your attention on what cannot be changed. Reflection keeps your attention on what can still be improved. Many people spend weeks replaying the same event in their minds without learning anything new. Reflection asks for evidence instead of emotion. It searches for causes instead of excuses. It looks for patterns instead of isolated moments. This approach allows one mistake to improve many future decisions. People often believe successful individuals avoid failure because they are naturally gifted. A closer look tells another story. Skilled people usually make fewer repeated mistakes because they review their experiences carefully. They pay attention to details that others ignore. They write down lessons after important projects. They notice habits that create poor results. They improve systems instead of depending on memory alone. This careful review becomes one of the hidden reasons they continue growing, while others remain stuck. Another practical lesson is learning to recognize the difference between a careless mistake and an honest mistake. Careless mistakes usually happen because of rushing, ignoring details, or refusing to prepare. Honest mistakes happen while trying something new with sincere effort. Both deserve attention, but they require different responses. Careless mistakes call for greater discipline. Honest mistakes call for more practice and patience. Understanding this difference helps you improve without becoming unfairly critical of yourself. Many people quit because they expect progress to follow a straight path. Real improvement rarely works that way. Some days feel productive, other days seem disappointing. One week may bring visible results while another feels slow. This uneven pattern is completely normal. Learning any meaningful skill involves correction, adjustment, and repeated practice. Accepting this reality protects your motivation because you stop treating temporary setbacks as permanent failure. One useful exercise is keeping what can be called a lesson journal. This is not a diary for complaints. It is a notebook dedicated to improvement. After each meaningful challenge, write 3 simple observations. Write one thing that went well. Write one thing that created difficulty. Write one change you will make next time. Over several months, this notebook becomes one of your most valuable teachers. Instead of relying on memory, you build a personal guide based on your own experiences. Few people take time to do this, yet it often accelerates growth more than reading another book. Another important habit is resisting the urge to hide mistakes from yourself or from trusted people. Many individuals spend enormous energy protecting their image. They avoid admitting errors because they fear embarrassment. This delays improvement. Honest people learn faster because they face reality sooner. Admitting a mistake is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that your commitment to growth is stronger than your desire to appear perfect. Your environment also influences how you respond to failure. Some people grow up believing mistakes should always be punished. Others learn that mistakes are opportunities to improve. These early experiences shape adult behavior more than many realize. Regardless of your past, you can create a healthier approach today. Treat every mistake as feedback that deserves careful attention. This mindset reduces fear because errors become part of learning rather than proof of inability. There is another lesson that receives little attention. The first mistake is rarely the most expensive one. The second mistake often causes greater damage because it happens after ignoring the lesson from the first. Someone who overspends once can recover. Someone who refuses to change spending habits may create years of financial stress. Missing one workout changes very little. Quitting exercise altogether creates long-term consequences. The greatest value of a mistake lies in preventing a larger one later. Pay attention to the language you use after something goes wrong. Words quietly influence future behavior. Saying everything is ruined creates hopelessness. Saying this attempt did not work leaves room for improvement. Accurate language keeps problems in their proper size. It prevents one disappointing event from becoming an unnecessary emotional burden. Clear words help maintain clear thinking during difficult moments. One practical strategy is reducing the time between recognizing a mistake and making a correction. Some people notice unhealthy habits but delay changing them for months. Others act immediately. They apologize quickly after speaking unfairly. They reorganize their schedule after wasting time. They adjust their study methods after receiving poor results. Fast correction prevents small problems from becoming deeply established habits. The sooner you respond, the easier improvement becomes. Another overlooked truth is that mistakes often reveal hidden strengths. A failed presentation may encourage you to improve communication skills you never realized were important. Financial difficulties may teach budgeting habits that create lifelong stability. A disappointing relationship may help you recognize healthier boundaries. Painful experiences often develop qualities that comfort alone could never produce. Growth frequently begins where certainty ends. Many people compare their failures with someone else's achievements. This comparison creates unnecessary discouragement because it ignores the years of effort behind visible success. Every accomplished person has experienced disappointing moments that most people never saw. They learned privately before succeeding publicly. Remember this whenever you feel tempted to judge your progress unfairly. You are seeing only one chapter of another person's journey while living every chapter of your own. Another practical habit is asking for feedback without becoming defensive. Honest feedback often feels uncomfortable because it points toward weaknesses we would rather ignore. Yet it also provides information we cannot always discover alone. Choose people who are thoughtful, experienced, and sincere. Listen carefully without interrupting. Write down useful observations. Then decide which improvements deserve immediate attention. Feedback becomes valuable only when it leads to action. Persistence does not mean repeating the same method forever. It means remaining committed to the goal while becoming flexible about the approach. Many people confuse determination with stubbornness. They continue using methods that clearly produce poor results because changing direction feels like failure. Wise people adjust their strategies while protecting their purpose. They improve the process instead of abandoning the dream. It is also important to forgive yourself after taking responsibility. Some individuals continue punishing themselves long after they have already learned the lesson. This serves no useful purpose. Carrying unnecessary guilt drains energy that could be invested in better decisions. Accept what happened. Learn from it completely. Make the necessary correction. Then move forward with greater wisdom. Growth requires honesty, but it also requires the ability to leave yesterday where it belongs. Daily improvement depends on consistency more than perfection. Missing one opportunity does not erase months of good work. One disappointing conversation does not destroy strong relationships built through respect. One difficult week does not cancel years of healthy habits. Learn to judge your progress across longer periods instead of reacting to isolated moments. This broader perspective protects your determination during temporary setbacks. There will always be people who allow mistakes to become permanent stopping points. They decide one failure is enough evidence to quit. There will also be people who treat every setback as another lesson, preparing them for greater responsibility. The difference between these two groups is rarely intelligence or talent. It is their willingness to continue learning. Every correction strengthens judgment. Every adjustment improves future decisions. Every honest review increases wisdom. Over time, these small improvements create a person who no longer fears mistakes because they understand that every thoughtful lesson moves them one step closer to becoming their best self. Chapter 6. Choose better decisions every single day. The quality of your life is quietly shaped by the decisions you repeat more than the opportunities you receive. One excellent decision rarely changes everything. Hundreds of thoughtful decisions made over many months create a different future. Many people wait for one life-changing moment while overlooking the ordinary choices that already stand in front of them. The decision to wake up on time, the decision to finish important work before entertainment, the decision to listen carefully before speaking. These moments may seem small, but they become the foundation of a strong and meaningful life. Every day begins with a limited amount of attention. Many people spend this valuable resource without realizing it. They make dozens of unnecessary decisions before reaching the work that truly matters. They spend time choosing what to wear, what to eat, or what to watch, while postponing the choices that actually improve their future. This creates mental fatigue long before the important part of the day begins. A wiser approach is to simplify ordinary decisions so your mind remains fresh for responsibilities that deserve careful thought. One of the most practical lessons you can learn is that every decision has two costs. The first cost is obvious. It may involve money, effort, or time. The second cost is often hidden. It involves the opportunities you lose by choosing something else. Spending 2 hours on unnecessary distractions also means losing 2 hours that could have strengthened your health, improved your skills, or deepened an important relationship. Before making a decision, ask yourself not only what you will gain, but also what you will quietly give up. Many people believe poor decisions happen because they lack intelligence. In reality, poor decisions often happen because they are made while tired, emotional, distracted, or rushed. This is why the timing of your decisions matters. Avoid making important financial choices while feeling anxious. Avoid difficult conversations when anger is still controlling your thoughts. Avoid promising more than you can realistically complete during moments of excitement. Giving yourself time to think clearly often prevents problems that later require months to repair. Another powerful habit is learning to recognize the difference between urgent and important. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention. Important tasks shape your future. These two categories are not always the same. A ringing phone feels urgent. Reading to improve your knowledge may not feel urgent, but it is deeply important. Responding to every notification may seem necessary, while planning your finances quietly waits for another day. Many successful people build their lives by protecting time for important work before urgent distractions take control. Your decisions are strongly influenced by the standards you create for yourself. Standards remove confusion because they guide your actions before temptation appears. A person who has decided never to waste borrowed money no longer debates every spending decision. Someone who has committed to daily exercise spends less energy deciding whether to move. Clear standards reduce mental conflict because the decision has already been made in advance. This saves both time and emotional energy. One useful exercise is learning to delay unnecessary decisions instead of making them immediately. Many purchases are made because of temporary emotion. Many arguments begin because someone responds too quickly. Create a personal rule. Wait 1 full day before making non-essential purchases. Wait a few minutes before answering messages that create strong emotions. This short delay often changes the quality of your judgment because emotions settle while reason becomes stronger. Another overlooked lesson is paying attention to the direction of your decisions instead of their size. Small choices repeated consistently often create greater results than occasional dramatic actions. Drinking 1 extra glass of water each day seems insignificant until months pass. Reading 10 pages every evening appears small until an entire year of learning has accumulated. Saving a modest amount every month looks ordinary until financial stability begins to grow. Respect the power of ordinary decisions because they quietly shape extraordinary outcomes. Many people make decisions based on convenience instead of values. Convenience asks what feels easiest today. Values ask what serves your future best. These two paths often lead to different destinations. Skipping preparation may save time today, but create stress tomorrow. Avoiding honest conversations may feel comfortable now, but weaken relationships later. Every meaningful life requires choosing long-term benefit over short-term comfort more often than the opposite. Another practical habit is writing down your major decisions before acting on them. This simple practice forces you to organize your thinking. Write the decision. Write the reasons supporting it. Write the possible risks. Write the expected result 6 months from now instead of tomorrow. Many people discover weaknesses in their thinking simply because they slowed down long enough to place their thoughts on paper. Careful thinking often begins with careful writing. There is another important truth that many people never notice. Repeated small decisions slowly shape your identity. A person who consistently tells the truth begins seeing honesty as part of who they are. Someone who regularly completes responsibilities develops the identity of being dependable. Another individual who constantly postpones difficult tasks begins expecting delay from themselves. Every decision teaches your mind something about the kind of person you are becoming. Protect that lesson carefully, because identity influences future behavior more than temporary motivation. Learning to say no is one of the most valuable decision-making skills you can develop. Every yes carries responsibility. Every commitment requires time and energy. Many people become overwhelmed because they accept opportunities without considering the cost. Before agreeing to something, ask whether it supports your priorities or pulls you away from them. Saying no to unnecessary commitments creates space for meaningful work that truly deserves your attention. Another daily practice is reviewing one important decision before going to sleep. Ask yourself why you made it. Did it reflect your values? Did it improve your future? Did emotion influence your judgment? This quiet reflection gradually sharpens your ability to recognize patterns. Over time, you begin noticing situations where your decisions are strongest and situations where greater caution is needed. Self-awareness grows through consistent observation. Many poor decisions are created by false urgency. Someone feels pressure to answer immediately. Someone believes every opportunity will disappear unless they act at once. While genuine urgency sometimes exists, many situations allow thoughtful consideration. Learn to become comfortable saying you need time to think. Wise decisions rarely suffer from careful reflection. They often improve because of it. Pay attention to the people who influence your thinking. Human beings naturally absorb ideas from repeated conversations. Spending time with responsible people often encourages responsible decisions. Listening to thoughtful individuals strengthens careful judgment. Surrounding yourself with people who constantly seek quick rewards can slowly weaken your own standards. Influence is powerful because it often works quietly. Choose relationships that encourage wisdom rather than impulsive behavior. Another practical lesson is separating emotions from facts before reaching conclusions. Feeling discouraged does not mean progress has stopped. Feeling confident does not guarantee success. Emotions provide valuable information, but they should not become the only guide for important choices. Gather evidence, observe reality, then combine clear thinking with emotional awareness. This balanced approach produces stronger decisions than relying on feelings alone. Many people underestimate the value of preparation before difficult choices. Gather information before changing careers. Understand your finances before making major purchases. Learn about your responsibilities before accepting new opportunities. Preparation reduces unnecessary surprises because it replaces assumptions with knowledge. Better information almost always leads to better decisions. There will also be moments when no option appears perfect. Waiting forever for certainty often becomes another form of avoidance. After gathering enough reliable information, choose the direction that best matches your principles. Accept that no decision comes with complete guarantees. Responsible people move forward with thoughtful judgment instead of endless hesitation. Experience often teaches lessons that thinking alone never can. One useful habit is noticing how your body responds before making important choices. Extreme exhaustion, hunger, or stress can quietly influence your judgment. Whenever possible, delay significant decisions until your mind is rested and your body has recovered. This simple awareness prevents many unnecessary mistakes because your thinking becomes clearer under healthier conditions. Your future will not be determined by one remarkable day. It will be shaped by the ordinary mornings, afternoons, and evenings when nobody is watching. Each decision becomes another vote for the person you are becoming. Every thoughtful choice strengthens discipline. Every honest action strengthens character. Every responsible response strengthens wisdom. Over many years, these quiet decisions form a life built on trust, stability, and purpose. Better decisions are not reserved for people with extraordinary talent. They belong to individuals who slow down enough to think clearly, remain honest with themselves, learn from experience, and stay faithful to their values even when easier options appear. Every new day places another series of choices in your hands. Treat each one with care, because the direction of your life is rarely changed by chance. It is changed by the decisions you make repeatedly, deliberately, and wisely, until those decisions become the natural expression of your best self. Chapter 7. Push beyond your comfort to grow. Growth begins at the point where familiar routines stop teaching you something new. A comfortable life may feel safe for a while, but it rarely develops stronger character, greater skill, or deeper understanding. Every meaningful improvement asks you to step into situations that feel unfamiliar. That feeling is not a warning that you should stop. Very often, it is evidence that you are learning. The people who continue growing throughout life are not those who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who learn how to work through it with patience and purpose. Comfort has an important place in life. It allows your body to recover and your mind to rest. The problem begins when comfort becomes your permanent destination instead of a temporary place to regain strength. Many people slowly build routines that protect them from every challenge. They avoid difficult conversations. They refuse to learn unfamiliar skills. They stop accepting responsibilities that demand more from them. At first, this feels peaceful. Over time, it quietly limits their future because they stop discovering what they are capable of becoming. One of the greatest misunderstandings about personal growth is believing that confidence appears before new experiences. In reality, confidence usually follows experience. A person does not become comfortable speaking in public by avoiding audiences. Someone does not become skilled at leading others by refusing responsibility. A new employee does not become capable by waiting until every task feels easy. Ability grows through repeated exposure to situations that once felt uncomfortable. Each experience teaches something the previous one could not. Pay attention to the activities you regularly postpone. These often reveal the areas where your greatest growth is waiting. Some people delay making important phone calls because they fear rejection. Others postpone learning technology because it feels confusing. Some avoid difficult books because they require greater concentration. Instead of asking which task feels easiest today, begin asking which task will make you stronger tomorrow. This simple change in thinking gradually transforms the way you approach daily life. Many people believe discomfort always means something is wrong. There is an important difference between harmful situations and healthy challenges. A harmful situation damages your well-being or violates your values. A healthy challenge stretches your ability while helping you improve. Learning a difficult language requires effort. Practicing a new profession demands patience. Saving money instead of spending it immediately requires self-control. These experiences may feel uncomfortable, but they build qualities that continue serving you long after the discomfort disappears. Another valuable lesson is understanding how quickly the human mind adapts. What feels difficult today often becomes ordinary after enough repetition. The first day at a new job may feel overwhelming. After several months, many tasks become automatic. The first workout may leave your body tired. Regular exercise slowly becomes part of your normal routine. Speaking with strangers may seem impossible at first. Repeated conversations gradually reduce nervousness. This ability to adapt is one of the greatest gifts you possess. It reminds you that today's discomfort does not have to become tomorrow's limitation. One practical exercise is choosing one small challenge every week that requires extra effort but remains realistic. Read a book outside your usual interests. Wake up earlier than normal for several days. Cook healthy meals instead of ordering food. Spend one evening learning a practical skill instead of watching entertainment. Introduce yourself to someone you have never spoken with before. These actions are not dramatic, but they train your mind to become familiar with steady improvement instead of constant comfort. There is another truth that many people overlook. Growth is often hidden inside ordinary responsibilities rather than extraordinary opportunities. Taking better care of your finances teaches discipline. Keeping your home organized teaches consistency. Listening carefully during disagreements teaches patience. Completing work with excellence teaches integrity. These daily responsibilities may not receive public recognition, yet they shape your character in ways that remain with you for life. Your habits either expand your abilities or quietly reduce them. Repeating only what you already know eventually leads to stagnation. Learning requires new experiences because the brain forms stronger connections when solving unfamiliar problems. This is why lifelong learners continue growing, regardless of age. They remain curious. They ask thoughtful questions. They welcome new information instead of protecting old opinions. Their willingness to learn becomes one of their greatest strengths. Another practical habit is replacing the question of whether something feels comfortable with the question of whether it is worthwhile. Many valuable goals require temporary inconvenience. Studying after a long day requires effort. Preparing healthy meals requires planning. Building savings requires delayed spending. These choices may not feel pleasant in the moment, but they create lasting rewards. Looking beyond immediate comfort helps you make wiser decisions with greater consistency. Many people quietly avoid growth because they fear making mistakes in front of others. This fear keeps countless talents hidden. Remember that every skilled person once performed poorly while learning. The musician played wrong notes. The writer produced weak first drafts. The speaker forgot important points. Improvement happened because they continued practicing instead of protecting their pride. Your progress becomes much faster when learning becomes more important than appearing impressive. One useful strategy is creating regular moments where you intentionally practice being a beginner. Choose something you have never learned before. It may be gardening, cooking, drawing, photography, or another useful ability. Becoming a beginner again develops humility and patience. It reminds you that every expert once struggled with simple steps. This experience also increases your respect for the learning process because you understand it from the beginning instead of only admiring finished results. Your friendships also influence your willingness to grow. Spend enough time around people who constantly avoid challenges, and avoiding difficulty begins to feel normal. Spend time with individuals who keep learning, improving, and accepting responsibility, and your own expectations begin to rise. Human beings naturally adjust to the standards of those around them. Choose relationships that encourage progress through action rather than comfort through excuses. Another important lesson is learning to stay present during uncomfortable moments instead of mentally escaping from them. When a difficult conversation begins, listen carefully instead of planning your defense. When learning a challenging skill, focus on the current lesson instead of worrying about future mistakes. When facing hard work, complete one part before thinking about the entire project. Staying present reduces unnecessary anxiety because your attention remains where useful action is possible. There are also seasons when growth requires letting go instead of adding more. Some people need to release unhealthy habits. Others need to step away from negative influences. Some must stop chasing approval from everyone around them. Letting go can feel uncomfortable because familiar patterns often seem safe, even when they are harmful. Yet making room for better habits sometimes begins by removing what no longer serves your future. One overlooked reason people remain comfortable is that they underestimate their own ability to adapt. They assume they cannot handle greater responsibility because they have never experienced it before. Yet history repeatedly shows that ordinary people become capable through repeated effort. Parents learn responsibilities they never imagined. New leaders develop confidence through experience. Students master difficult subjects through daily study. Human ability expands when consistent effort meets meaningful purpose. Another practical method is setting process challenges instead of result challenges. Instead of focusing only on achieving a major outcome, focus on repeating valuable actions. Practice a skill for 30 days. Walk every morning for 1 month. Read every evening without missing a day. This approach strengthens discipline because success depends on actions you can control rather than results that require time. Many people stop growing because they become too attached to what they already know. They stop asking questions. They reject different ideas before examining them. They assume experience alone is enough. A wiser approach is remaining teachable, regardless of age or achievement. Every person you meet knows something you do not. Every new experience contains a lesson waiting to be discovered. Curiosity protects you from becoming limited by your own assumptions. It is also important to notice the quiet satisfaction that follows meaningful effort. Temporary comfort often disappears quickly. The satisfaction of completing difficult work lasts much longer because it creates self-respect. Finishing a demanding project, keeping a promise despite inconvenience, learning something that once seemed impossible. These experiences build an inner confidence that cannot be purchased or borrowed. It grows because you earned it through disciplined action. Growth also requires patience with your own progress. New habits feel awkward before they become natural. New responsibilities create uncertainty before they create confidence. New knowledge often raises more questions before providing clear answers. Do not mistake this temporary uncertainty for failure. It is often a sign that your understanding is expanding beyond old limits. As life continues presenting new opportunities, remember that your greatest potential will rarely be discovered inside familiar routines alone. Every season offers another chance to become wiser, stronger, and more capable than you were before. The willingness to move beyond comfort is not about making life harder without reason. It is about refusing to let fear decide the boundaries of your future. Every challenge accepted with patience strengthens your abilities. Every new lesson expands your perspective. Every step taken despite uncertainty shapes a person who continues growing long after others have settled for what already feels easy. Chapter 8. Stay consistent, even when progress feels slow. The greatest improvements in life often happen so gradually that you barely notice them while they are taking place. Day after day you repeat simple actions, and it feels as though nothing is changing. Then one day you realize you can handle situations that once felt difficult. You solve problems with greater patience. You understand ideas more clearly. You recover from disappointment more quickly. This is how real progress usually works. It grows quietly before it becomes visible. People who understand this truth continue working while others stop because they expect immediate results. Many people leave good habits too early because they judge their progress by feelings instead of evidence. Some mornings you will feel energetic. Other mornings you will not. Feelings rise and fall throughout life. They are not reliable measurements of growth. A better approach is to measure your actions. Ask yourself whether you completed your planned work. Ask whether you kept your daily routine. Ask whether you honored your commitments. Consistent actions tell a more accurate story than temporary emotions ever can. One of the most valuable lessons you can learn is that improvement is often happening in ways you cannot immediately measure. A person learning a new language may struggle for months before speaking comfortably. A student preparing for important exams may study every day without seeing dramatic changes at first. Someone strengthening physical fitness may not notice visible differences for several weeks. During these quiet periods, the mind and body are still adapting. Progress continues beneath the surface long before it becomes obvious. There is an important difference between being busy and being consistent. Many people work with great intensity for a few days and then stop completely. Others choose a steady pace that they can maintain for months. The second approach usually produces stronger results because lasting success depends more on regular effort than occasional bursts of energy. A habit practiced almost every day becomes part of your identity. An effort repeated only once in a while remains temporary. Another practical lesson is learning to respect ordinary days. People often believe important growth happens only during exciting moments. In reality, ordinary days shape your future more than special occasions. A quiet evening spent reading, a morning walk before work, a thoughtful conversation with a family member, a careful review of your finances. These simple routines rarely receive attention, yet they slowly create wisdom, health, and stability. Never underestimate the value of an ordinary day used well. One reason people abandon their goals is that they expect constant excitement. Excitement is enjoyable, but it is not designed to last forever. Every meaningful pursuit eventually becomes routine. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are entering the stage where real discipline begins. When excitement becomes weaker, your values must become stronger. Continue acting because the work is important, not because it always feels exciting. Another useful practice is creating visual proof of your consistency. Keep a simple calendar where you mark each day you complete an important habit. You may record your reading, exercise, writing, or study sessions. Looking at a growing chain of completed days creates encouragement because your effort becomes visible. It also reminds you that every single day contributes to something larger than itself. One missed day is not the problem. Repeatedly breaking your pattern without returning to it is where real difficulty begins. Many people become discouraged because they compare their private progress with someone else's public achievements. They see the finished result, but never witness the years of preparation behind it. Every capable person once experienced slow seasons. Every respected professional once struggled with basic skills. Every accomplished leader once felt uncertain while learning. Your journey deserves to be measured against your previous self rather than another person's current position. This comparison is both fair and useful because it reflects your own growth. There is another lesson that receives little attention. Slow progress often creates stronger character than quick success. Rapid achievement can sometimes produce overconfidence. Gradual improvement teaches patience, persistence, and careful thinking. When results take time, you learn how to continue without immediate rewards. This ability becomes valuable in every area of life because many worthwhile goals require extended effort before producing visible outcomes. Another practical habit is protecting your routine during difficult weeks instead of trying to perform at your highest level every day. Life will bring illness, unexpected responsibilities, travel, and stressful situations. During these seasons, reduce the size of your effort if necessary, but protect the habit itself. Read a few pages instead of an entire chapter. Walk for 15 minutes instead of 1 hour. Write one paragraph instead of several pages. Keeping the routine alive makes it much easier to return to full momentum later. Many people believe consistency means never making mistakes. Real consistency is different. It means returning to your habits after interruptions. Every person experiences setbacks. Vacations change routines. Family responsibilities require adjustments. Unexpected events create delays. What matters is your ability to begin again without turning one interruption into permanent abandonment. Strong habits survive because they are resumed quickly instead of forgotten. Another valuable skill is learning to celebrate process instead of waiting only for major achievements. Appreciate the week you completed every planned workout. Notice the month you stayed within your financial budget. Recognize the days you remained patient during stressful situations. These moments deserve attention because they reflect the behaviors that eventually produce larger success. Waiting only for distant milestones often creates unnecessary frustration. Appreciating daily progress keeps motivation connected to the present. Pay close attention to your expectations. Unrealistic expectations quietly destroy consistency because they create disappointment that could have been avoided. Expecting to master a difficult skill within a few weeks often leads to discouragement. Expecting challenges along the way creates patience. Set ambitious goals, but pair them with realistic timelines. Understanding that improvement requires time protects your determination when visible progress appears slower than hoped. One practical exercise is reviewing your progress at regular intervals instead of evaluating yourself every single day. Daily changes are often too small to notice. Monthly reviews reveal patterns that daily observation cannot. Compare your current knowledge with what you understood several months ago. Notice how your routines have improved. Observe how your reactions to stress have changed. This wider perspective allows you to appreciate growth that would otherwise remain invisible. Another overlooked truth is that repetition creates efficiency. The more often you practice a valuable habit, the less mental effort it requires. At first, organizing your schedule may feel demanding. After enough repetition, planning your day becomes natural. Healthy eating becomes easier after preparing meals consistently. Saving money becomes less difficult once it becomes part of your normal routine. Repetition gradually transforms effort into familiarity, allowing you to focus your energy on higher levels of improvement. Many people stop because they misunderstand temporary plateaus. A plateau does not always mean progress has ended. Sometimes it means your current skills are becoming stable before the next stage of improvement begins. Athletes experience this. Musicians experience this. Students experience this. Continue practicing with patience. New abilities often emerge after long periods that appeared unchanged from the outside. Growth is rarely smooth. It often arrives in quiet stages, followed by noticeable breakthroughs. Another important habit is limiting unnecessary distractions that slowly weaken consistency. Constant interruptions break concentration and make simple tasks feel more difficult than they really are. Protect specific periods each day for meaningful work. During those times, remove unnecessary notifications, avoid multitasking, and give your full attention to one responsibility. Focus strengthens consistency because fewer interruptions mean fewer opportunities to abandon important habits. There is also value in remembering why you began. Goals connected only to temporary excitement often disappear quickly. Goals connected to meaningful values survive difficult seasons. Perhaps you began exercising to become healthy enough to enjoy life with your family. Perhaps you started studying because you wanted greater opportunities. Perhaps you began saving money to create security for the future. Return to these deeper reasons whenever progress feels slow. Purpose provides strength long after excitement fades. Another practical lesson is refusing to let one unproductive day define an entire week. Everyone experiences days where little goes according to plan. The important question is, what happens next? Resume your routine at the first available opportunity. Do not waste additional time feeling guilty. Action repairs momentum much faster than self-criticism. Every new day offers another chance to continue where you left off. As the months and years pass, consistency quietly changes more than your results. It changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who starts and stops. You begin seeing yourself as a person who finishes what matters. Others notice your reliability. More importantly, you notice it yourself. This inner trust becomes one of the strongest forms of confidence because it is supported by years of faithful action rather than temporary emotion. Life will always include seasons where progress feels slower than you expected. Those seasons are not invitations to quit. They are opportunities to strengthen the qualities that visible success alone cannot develop. Patience becomes stronger. Discipline becomes steadier. Wisdom becomes deeper. Every ordinary day that you remain faithful to your values adds another strong foundation beneath your future. In time, the results that once seemed distant begin to appear, not because of one extraordinary effort, but because you continued showing up with purpose long after quick rewards disappeared. Chapter 9. Become someone you feel proud of. Real success becomes meaningful only when you can respect the person you see at the end of the day. Achievements may earn attention, but character earns peace of mind. Many people spend years trying to impress others while quietly feeling disappointed in themselves. The better path is different. Build a life that allows you to stand alone with your own thoughts and still feel honest, useful, and dependable. Lasting pride does not come from applause. It comes from knowing that your daily actions match the values you claim to believe. Many people connect pride with winning, earning more money, or receiving recognition. These things can be satisfying, but they are not enough to create lasting self-respect. There are people with impressive careers who constantly question themselves because they know they have ignored important responsibilities. There are also ordinary people living simple lives who carry quiet confidence because they keep their word, treat others fairly, and remain faithful to their principles. The quality of your character matters long after public success loses its excitement. One of the most practical ways to become someone you admire is by keeping promises that nobody else knows you made. Wake up when you planned. Finish the work you committed to. Return calls you said you would make. Read the pages you promised yourself you would read. These private decisions strengthen your identity because they are guided by discipline instead of public approval. Every time you follow through, you quietly tell yourself that your word has value. Another important lesson is understanding the difference between reputation and character. Reputation depends on what other people think about you. Character depends on what you repeatedly choose to do. Reputation can change because of rumors or misunderstandings. Character grows through daily behavior that remains consistent regardless of who is watching. Wise people spend more energy improving their character than protecting their image, because they understand that strong character eventually earns genuine respect. Your values become visible through ordinary behavior rather than special occasions. Anyone can appear generous when life is comfortable. Kindness becomes more meaningful during stressful moments. Honesty becomes more valuable when telling the truth creates inconvenience. Patience becomes more impressive during disagreement than during peace. Character is tested by everyday situations because those moments reveal what has truly become part of your life. Another useful habit is asking yourself one simple question before making important decisions. Will this choice make me respect myself more tomorrow? This question shifts your attention away from temporary pleasure toward long-term integrity. It encourages you to consider consequences instead of immediate comfort. Many poor decisions lose their attraction when viewed through the lens of future self-respect. Many people underestimate the importance of personal standards that remain unchanged regardless of circumstances. Some people become polite only when speaking to influential individuals. Others show respect to everyone. Some people work carefully only when supervisors are present. Others maintain quality because excellence has become their personal standard. These quiet differences shape your identity far more than dramatic moments ever could. Consistent standards build dependable character. There is another truth that deserves attention. You become proud of yourself by solving problems instead of avoiding them. Every responsibility you face honestly strengthens your confidence. Paying your bills on time, having difficult conversations with respect, correcting mistakes without excuses, caring for your health before serious problems appear. These actions may not attract attention, but they create a deep sense of responsibility that stays with you for life. Many people seek confidence through comparison. They feel successful only when someone else performs worse. This creates unstable happiness because there will always be someone more experienced, more skilled, or more accomplished. A stronger approach is comparing today's actions with yesterday's behavior. Ask whether you became a little wiser, more patient, or more disciplined than before. Personal growth measured against your own progress creates satisfaction that does not depend on competition. One practical exercise is creating a short list of personal principles that guide your decisions. Keep the list simple and realistic. Always speak honestly. Finish important work before unnecessary entertainment. Treat people with respect even during disagreement. Continue learning every week. Take responsibility for mistakes without blaming others. Read this list regularly. When principles remain visible, decisions become clearer because you already know the standards you have chosen to follow. Another valuable lesson is learning to protect your integrity during moments when nobody expects you to do the right thing. Return extra money if you receive too much change. Admit mistakes before someone discovers them. Complete work honestly, even when shortcuts seem easier. These moments rarely receive public recognition, yet they quietly strengthen the relationship you have with yourself. Every honest decision becomes another reason to trust your own character. Your daily conversations also reveal the person you are becoming. Notice how often you complain compared with how often you look for solutions. Notice whether your words encourage others or discourage them. Notice whether you speak respectfully about people who are not present. Language reflects habits of thought. Improving the way you speak often improves the way you think, because your words begin shaping your attention toward more constructive ideas. Another practical habit is becoming known for reliability rather than promises. Many people enjoy talking about what they intend to accomplish. Reliable people focus on completing what they already accepted. They arrive prepared. They finish assignments. They communicate clearly. They honor deadlines whenever possible. Reliability may seem ordinary, but it creates opportunities because people naturally trust those who consistently follow through. Many individuals wait until major achievements before allowing themselves to feel proud. This approach overlooks hundreds of meaningful victories that happen along the way. Feel proud that you remained calm during a difficult conversation. Feel proud that you continued learning after a long day. Feel proud that you chose honesty when dishonesty would have been easier. These moments matter because they reflect the person you are becoming instead of the rewards you receive. Another important truth is that self-respect grows through responsibility rather than comfort. Taking care of your family, managing your finances wisely, developing useful skills, keeping your environment organized, looking after your physical health. These responsibilities sometimes require effort that feels inconvenient. Yet completing them creates satisfaction because they remind you that you are capable of handling the demands of life with maturity. One overlooked habit is learning to apologize properly when you are wrong. Many people protect their pride by avoiding responsibility. This usually damages relationships and weakens personal growth. A sincere apology does not make you smaller. It demonstrates honesty and emotional maturity. Accepting responsibility without making excuses allows trust to grow, because people recognize your willingness to correct mistakes instead of hiding them. Another lesson is choosing friends who encourage your best qualities instead of your weakest habits. Relationships quietly influence your standards. Spend enough time around people who value honesty, discipline, learning, and kindness, and those qualities become easier to practice. Spend time with individuals who constantly criticize, complain, or avoid responsibility, and those habits gradually become familiar. Choose companions who inspire you through their actions more than their words. Pay attention to the promises you make to yourself during difficult seasons. It is easy to maintain discipline when life feels simple. Character becomes stronger when responsibilities increase, and you still choose to act according to your values. Continue reading even during busy weeks. Continue exercising during stressful periods. Continue treating people respectfully when your patience is tested. These choices build lasting pride because they prove your principles remain steady under pressure. There is also great value in becoming useful to other people. Every person has knowledge, experience, or skills that can improve someone else's life. Teach a younger person something valuable. Help a friend solve a practical problem. Listen carefully when someone needs support. Share useful information without expecting recognition. Becoming useful creates purpose because your growth begins serving more than your own success. Many people search for a single achievement that will permanently satisfy them. Real life works differently. Self-respect is maintained through repeated daily behavior. It grows every time you choose responsibility instead of convenience. It becomes stronger every time your actions match your principles. It remains steady because it is supported by consistent evidence instead of temporary emotion. As the years pass, your possessions may change, your career may change, your circumstances may change. The person you become remains the greatest achievement you will ever build. Skills may open doors. Opportunities may come and go. Character stays with you wherever life leads. Every honest choice, every completed responsibility, every lesson learned, and every promise kept adds another strong piece to the person you are creating. Becoming someone you feel proud of is not one remarkable event. It is the result of thousands of ordinary decisions made with integrity, patience, humility, and quiet determination until those qualities become the natural way you live every single day. Chapter 10. Live every day as your best self. Your life becomes extraordinary through ordinary days lived with intention. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to become a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little more disciplined than you were yesterday. Becoming your best self is not a destination waiting somewhere in the future. It is a way of living that is practiced through today's choices. Every decision you make shapes your character. Every action strengthens or weakens your future. The life you hope to build begins with the person you choose to be before this day is over. Many people believe they need a completely different life before they can become a better version of themselves. They wait for a new job, a better income, more free time, or perfect circumstances. Yet the strongest personal transformation begins long before external conditions change. A person becomes more responsible before receiving greater responsibility. Someone becomes more disciplined before achieving noticeable success. A person develops honesty before earning trust. The qualities you need tomorrow are built through the habits you practice today. Living as your best self does not mean becoming perfect. Perfection is an impossible standard that creates unnecessary disappointment. The better goal is becoming more intentional with each passing day. Ask yourself whether your actions reflect the person you want to become. Did you spend your time wisely? Did you speak with respect? Did you learn something useful? Did you care for your health? Did you complete work with honesty? These simple questions gradually shape a life built on steady improvement instead of unrealistic expectations. One of the most powerful daily habits is beginning each morning with clear direction. Many people wake up and immediately react to whatever demands their attention first. Messages arrive, news appears, unexpected problems interrupt the day before they have decided what truly matters. A stronger approach is choosing your priorities before the world chooses them for you. Spend a few quiet minutes reviewing your goals. Decide which responsibilities deserve your best attention. Enter the day with purpose instead of allowing chance to guide your actions. Another practical lesson is treating every responsibility as an opportunity to strengthen your character. Washing dishes teaches care. Arriving on time teaches respect. Preparing healthy meals teaches self-control. Managing your finances teaches responsibility. Listening carefully teaches patience. Many people overlook these ordinary moments because they are searching for dramatic experiences, yet life is built through repeated ordinary actions. When you perform simple responsibilities with excellence, you train yourself to approach larger opportunities with the same attitude. Every person faces moments where choosing the easier path feels tempting. It is easy to postpone important work. It is easy to ignore small problems until they become larger. It is easy to make promises that are never fulfilled. Living as your best self requires something different. It requires making decisions based on principles instead of convenience. Each time you choose what is right over what is easy, you strengthen qualities that remain valuable for the rest of your life. Another important truth is that your best self is revealed through consistency rather than occasional effort. Anyone can have one productive day. Anyone can feel inspired for a weekend. Lasting growth belongs to people who continue doing what matters during ordinary weeks. They read even when they are busy. They exercise even when progress feels slow. They remain honest even when dishonesty seems easier. These repeated choices gradually create a life that reflects stability instead of temporary enthusiasm. Many people spend too much time trying to become impressive instead of becoming useful. A useful person creates value wherever they go. They solve problems instead of creating them. They complete responsibilities without constant reminders. They encourage others through thoughtful actions. They continue learning so they can contribute more effectively. Becoming useful creates a meaningful life because your personal growth begins improving the lives of those around you. Another practical habit is paying attention to the quality of your attention. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. Constant distraction weakens the ability to think deeply. Give your full attention to the person speaking with you. Give your full attention to the work in front of you. Give your full attention to your family during shared moments. Deep attention improves relationships, strengthens learning, and increases the quality of everything you do. There is another lesson that deserves careful consideration. Your daily standards quietly shape your future more than your occasional goals. Goals provide direction, but standards determine daily behavior. A person who values punctuality does not debate whether to arrive on time. Someone who values honesty does not search for acceptable excuses. A person committed to learning naturally creates time for study. Raise your personal standards, and your daily decisions begin changing almost automatically. Living as your best self also means accepting responsibility for your emotional responses. You cannot control every event that enters your life. You can develop greater control over how you respond. Instead of reacting immediately during disagreement, choose to listen. Instead of allowing frustration to guide your words, choose thoughtful communication. Instead of carrying disappointment throughout the day, return your attention to the next useful action. Emotional maturity grows through repeated moments where wisdom becomes stronger than impulse. Another overlooked practice is protecting your evenings as carefully as your mornings. The final hour of the day often determines the quality of the next one. Instead of ending the evening with endless distractions, prepare yourself for tomorrow. Organize your workspace. Review your schedule. Reflect on one lesson learned during the day. Choose a reasonable bedtime. These quiet routines create peaceful mornings because they reduce unnecessary confusion before the next day begins. Many people underestimate the influence of gratitude that is supported by action. Gratitude is more than appreciating what you have. It also means using your opportunities well. Be grateful for your health by caring for it. Be grateful for your education by continuing to learn. Be grateful for your relationships by investing time and attention in them. Appreciation becomes more meaningful when it changes the way you live. Another valuable lesson is learning to protect your peace without avoiding responsibility. Peace does not come from escaping every challenge. It comes from knowing you are handling your responsibilities with honesty and discipline. People often feel calmer after completing important work because unfinished responsibilities create unnecessary mental pressure. Every completed task removes one burden from your mind and creates space for greater clarity. One practical exercise is ending each day with a brief personal review. Do not focus only on what went wrong. Notice what you handled well. Recognize where greater patience was needed. Identify one improvement for tomorrow. This habit creates continuous learning because every day becomes a teacher. Over the years, these small reflections build remarkable wisdom because they transform daily experience into lasting knowledge. Your best self is also shaped by the people you encourage along the way. Every kind word offered sincerely has value. Every thoughtful lesson shared with someone who is willing to learn creates positive influence. Every act of fairness strengthens trust. Never underestimate the impact of simple goodness practiced consistently. Many lives are quietly changed through ordinary acts of patience, honesty, and generosity. Another important truth is that balance matters. Hard work is essential, but so is proper rest. Learning is valuable, but so is taking time to think about what you have learned. Serving others is meaningful, but caring for your own health allows you to continue serving well. A balanced life creates sustainability because it protects your energy while allowing steady growth. There will always be days that test your determination. Plans may fail. Unexpected setbacks may appear. Energy may feel lower than usual. During those moments, remember that your standards do not disappear simply because circumstances become difficult. Continue doing what you can with the strength available today. Small, faithful actions completed during challenging seasons often become the strongest evidence of your character. One of the greatest rewards of living this way is the quiet confidence that gradually develops. You no longer depend on praise to believe in yourself, because your daily actions provide their own evidence. You no longer need constant motivation, because discipline has become familiar. You no longer wait for perfect conditions, because experience has taught you that meaningful progress can begin in ordinary circumstances. As you continue this journey, remember that every day places another opportunity in your hands. No one else can make your choices. No one else can build your habits. No one else can shape your character. Those responsibilities belong to you, and that is what makes your future so full of possibility. Each morning offers another chance to think with greater wisdom, act with greater discipline, speak with greater kindness, and live with greater purpose. The strongest legacy you will ever create is not simply what you achieve. It is the person you become through thousands of honest decisions made one ordinary day at a time, until living as your best self becomes as natural as breathing and as dependable as the rising of every new morning. Success starts with you, and the person you become is shaped by the choices you make after this moment. The lessons you have learned today are not meant to stay as simple ideas. They are meant to become actions you practice every day. Remember, becoming your best self is not about changing your entire life overnight. It is about making better decisions, building stronger habits, and choosing growth even when progress feels slow. Every small improvement you make today creates a better version of yourself tomorrow. The journey of personal growth never truly ends because there is always another skill to develop, another weakness to strengthen, and another level of yourself to discover. Keep learning, keep improving, keep becoming the person you know you are capable of becoming. Thank you for spending this time with us. If these lessons helped you see your life from a new perspective, return for more powerful audiobooks that will continue guiding you toward discipline, confidence, and personal success. Your best self is not someone you find, it is someone you build every single day.